I mean, hey, what are we going to do? All right, so, hey, everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the Coils of Destiny. Um, my name is Stephen Dutzman. I am the Dungeon Master, and I'm actually, I think, where I'm supposed to be now. This, OBS has been, like, throwing me around all over the place these last handful of weeks. I'm the center square, and I kind of like it. I get to, like, do this and, like, look up at my people. I kind of like it. So, it's episode 9. We're going to play Dungeons & Dragons in a family-friendly and relatively goofy way. And let's just introduce our players. And I'm going to go around the circle. To my left, I think that's my left, is Marie, and she is playing our warrior, Thalia. And then up there is Dana, and she is playing our ranger, named Rory. And up there is Linda, the Mistress of Magnificence. She is playing our rogue and fearless leader, Pin. And over there is my very best friend in the whole wide world, Amanda Farrow, the Princess of Power. She is playing our cleric. And I'm sorry, I forgot your name. What's your character's name, Amanda?
Vera.
Vera, that's
Vera.
right. That's right.
Vera.
How could I forget that? That's like Marie's mom's name, Vera. Anyway, how can I forget that? And to the right is an empty box because he's eating a sandwich, and it is a man who doesn't look like me right now because I shaved my beard because it annoyed me. So it is my brother who is playing Preston, a washed-up wizard. Oh no! And he turned his camera on and he threw me to the corner. It was like a wrestling move. So, what I need is I would like everyone to speak briefly so I can make sure that I can hear you. Dana?
Hey.
Linda?
Hi there.
Okay, Amanda, she said her name. Obviously, we can hear Marie. We'd know if we couldn't hear Marie, and my brother spoke. So, all right. So it has been a minute. We actually took a week off. We took a couple of weeks off, partially because I had to reset my computer. I was having some freezing issues, and when I did that, it tore the whole stream setup apart, and I didn't realize it until it was too late, and that was on me. So I'm going to get everybody here and everybody watching all caught up. Our brave adventurers have finally ventured from their home of Wavecrest and are making their way across the continent to the capital of Blackwater. And they knew they had to take a couple of days north to get to a farming town called Holden, at which point then they would resupply and go all the way to Blackwater, which is going to be all sorts of fun misadventures. And our adventure ended after a terrifying ambush by a bunch of mind-controlled or I guess seemingly mind-controlled monsters, and then they arrived in Holden, at which point we cut the game. So that is literally, I've caught both our audience and my players up. So without ado, let's just get started and play Dungeons & Dragons. How's that sound, everybody?
Fantastic.
Great. So,
Let's go.
You arrive in Holden, which is a small-ish farming town. It is kind of carved into a pretty big forest, but you kind of move down this forested road into kind of like a pretty large open space with some farmland and a town full of buildings, etc. I think you guys are on the map. Or should be.
Yes.
Left-hand corner, I found us.
Yes, thank you. And so let me show the audience where you guys are, because I can do that. Uh-oh. I zoomed inappropriately on the wrong program. Here we go. So you arrive in Holden. You don't. It's kind of towards the end of the day. You don't really see that many people about, but it's not eerily quiet. It is just clearly you see some people kind of fussing about getting ready to move towards their evening activities, whether it might be finding dinner in the tavern or just going home. With that said, through the buildings, as you look towards the center of town, you notice a few things. One of them being a relatively large tree that's kind of just like in the center of town, almost like, maybe that's a gathering point or a village square. And beyond that, you see the light of what looks like a very tall fire.
Like an out of control one, or like a shaped one, like magical means, or like,
You do not smell, none of you smell any smoke, but you see a fire that is big enough that you would probably smell smoke. Therefore, weird.
It is weird.
Concerning.
Do you know anything about fires that burn without any indication aside visually? Have you heard of anything like this?
Illusion, stagecraft, magic, all that loveliness. I bet you we're about to see a performance piece, or I might be entirely wrong, and something's
fire elemental.
Yes.
I mean, nobody seems concerned around us, right? So.
I mean, we could all just go round that ring of fire and see what's going on.
I think that's a good idea. Let's at least wander our way that way, assuming no one else is looking panicked around us. Or maybe, especially if they look panicked around us.
I didn't put like minis on the board or like this map is kind of more to be representative of where about town you guys are going. Mm-hmm. There are no like minis around, but there are, every road has, a person on it, or a mom and a kid, or, somebody with a cart. No one seems particularly panicked. They're just about their business.
I would say bright lights plus zero smoke plus no panic means performance.
We should see what the performance is today, or what's going on.
I wonder if it's exciting. I wonder if there's food.
Well, if there's not, you can handle that.
I sure can.
Okay. So, where are you gonna go? You guys should be able to control your characters. Can you not? Or please let me know if you can't.
Let me try.
Looks like I'm okay.
Characters there?
I'd say we should all go as a group.
they're very tiny down in the bottom left corner.
Yes, I'm just trying to get my computer
We need to take over our
There
giant
we go.
headshot
There it is.
screen, so.
I'm going to keep a safe distance, just in case.
Oh,
I'm making my way over there. I'm not in the spot I want yet, so. I used to such a big screen. There we go. All right. I'm going to go hang with Preston because I trust him to tell me if I need to worry or not.
I mean, at this
I
point,
feel that.
I am appreciating. I feel like I'm about to appreciate the craft of a fellow magician.
Understood, but you'll at least be able to tell us if something seems to be going awry, or if something's going funky with the magic, or...
Yeah, and follow. If the frail wizard decides to run away, you should follow him.
Understood.
As you guide your party into the heart of the charming hamlet, your eyes are drawn to a 2-story building standing distinct in its bright and welcoming colors. A sign swinging gently in the breeze identifies it as the general store. Broad glass windows reveal an assortment of items: glass jars filled with pickles, vibrant rolls of cloth, durable-looking tools, and piles of neatly stacked parchment. However, an unusual sight arrests your attention as you approach the building. A wall of fire, intense and flickering, encircles the entirety of the structure, creating a fiery boundary between the store's walls and the cobbled streets. There is no heat, but it is clearly fire. Strangely, the townfolk don't seem to acknowledge the fiery spectacle. They saunter by, engaging in leisurely conversation, seemingly oblivious to the magical blaze. A farmer nonchalantly ties his mule near the flames, not bothering to cast even a sideways glance at the surreal sight. It's as though the fiery barrier is invisible to them. Despite the intensity of the flames, the store itself appears unscathed. There are no signs of scorch marks on the cheerful facade, and no tendrils of smoke mar the clear air. Clearly, this is a work of magic. Through the translucent barrier of fire, you catch sight of a small gnome moving about within the store. Her actions seem anxious, picking up items and setting them back in their place in quick succession. Every now and again, she casts a glance towards the flaming wall encasing her store. What was clearly once a bustling store has now become an island, mysteriously isolated by an unseen ward of fire.
Okay.
Have we seen anybody go in or out of the
No.
wall?
No.
Okay, so it's not just invisible to them by sight, but
I mean,
they're just like not going.
you have not seen anyone attempt to go through it.
Okay.
So Preston approaches and attempts to make eye contact with the gnome who's inside the shop and waves his arms furiously as if to get her attention.
I mean, it's a magical wall. You can probably just yell.
Are there any rocks around?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
Can
just
grab
straight.
one, throw it.
Yeah,
Just like not trying to hit a window or anything. Just
you just want to
through
see. You want to see what happens when it hits the wall or goes through it. It hits the wall and falls to the ground.
Can I send my swarm through it or attempt to?
You can do lots of stuff. You are welcome to try to send your magical birds through the magical wall of fire.
Okay, I will attempt to see if they can permeate the wall.
So they give you some side eye. I'm not gonna lie. They're like, "What? You want us to do what?" But then they do it. But it is very clear that your birds are giving you like a small amount of attitude. Like she wants us to do what? And then they just act. They are clearly complying as opposed to behaving. It's it's a subtle difference, but you know, yeah, they want you to know. So they're like huffy while they do it. So they kind of flutter around your head, and then just kind of slowly flap towards the wall of fire. And the first one hits it like you hit a window and just collapses to the ground and kind of disappears. And the rest of them very quickly just fly off and go, well, that one. Well,
Abort. Abort.
Yeah, that one, he did his thing. You know.
Not go well.
Well, that established one fact for sure. Does that gentleman that was tying up his horse nearby, is he still around or did he wander off?
He wandered into the building to that is kind of to the left with the orange roof. It's the one.
What do we think?
You see it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The large building that's to the left. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? You went in there. Okay.
Yeah, there's a sign there's a sign on the front door that says that it is the Waggle Top Inn. So
Great name.
Preston was trying to get the attention of the woman inside, and she sees him, and she kind of walks out, stands in the front door, and just kind of makes like a wave and like makes like she's shouting, and you can't hear anything. And then she goes back inside.
Okay. This is bizarre.
This is very bizarre. Do you think maybe we could follow that gentleman that just tied up his horse into the inn, see if we can find out if this is like, do they even know that this is happening? Or is this like
Pin,
just a
I'm gonna
normal
follow
Tuesday
your
here?
lead. I'm gonna follow your lead, Pin. You just point and say go that way, and I will go that way. I promise. I got your back.
All right. Why don't we go see if this is if they even know that this is something going on, if they can even see it, or if it's just so commonplace to them that it's like normal. Something's off. All right, shall we?
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Okay. So as you as you push open the sturdy oak door and step inside, you are immediately enveloped in a world of warmth and cheer. The tavern is alive with the chatter of locals, the clinking of mugs, and the occasional outbursts of laughter. Clearly, everyone who is done working came here, and almost only here. A large hearth dominates one wall, its crackling fire casting a warm glow on the patrons and wooden furnishings. The bar is well stocked, manned by a gnome with a twinkle in his eye, who you assume to be the proprietor. And so there's a gnome literally standing on the bar, because if you look behind it, you see he couldn't stand behind it. He doesn't really have a choice. He's got to stand on it, and he's just pouring beer and pointing directions. He's got employees kind of going. It's obviously busy. But he sees you and immediately throws both hands up in the air and says, "Welcome, strangers. It's dinner time. Grab a table." And he points, and you have no idea where he's pointing, but there's a couple tables that he's just that way. "We'll have someone serve you in a moment." And then he goes he's doing 8 things at once. If you don't think
I respect that.
it's
Game recognizes
intense.
game.
I bet you we will be able to figure out a lot more about what's going on a full stomach.
Oh yeah! As soon as he does that, all of you remember you've been on the trail for the whole day. It is in fact supper time.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I could do with some culinary magic to put in my belly.
There we go. And you know what? I'm sure whoever helps us will know, or not know, what's going on next door, and we'll.
Man,
figure
I
something
hope
out.
so. I hope so.
So you find your way to. There were a handful of empty tables, so you settle down at one of them, and within moments, the service here is amazing. By the way, within moments, one of the servers, a young man who is. His hair's all messed up. His apron is twisted to the side. He's just out of breath. He's new. You could tell. He's just new. Hey, so welcome to the Waggletop Inn. You guys are new here. I haven't seen any of you guys before.
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
Well, we have some wonderful stew today. Do we have any vegetarians in the house? Good, because you were in trouble. I can bring 5 plates, and is anybody drinking? Everyone?
Time for a beverage. Yes,
Got it.
please.
Bring a flag in and leave it.
We will do that.
Do you have any
Any what?
need?
Done. Yes, I can do that too. I'll that'll be a separate trip though. I don't want to drop it. And so he just immediately rushes off to the behind the kitchen, almost trips over somebody. He's excitable, but very clearly new. While he is gone, another man walks up to the table, and it is a tall, human in a very clean white shirt, which is kind of you weren't expecting that in a farming village, and suspenders. He's holding his suspenders, and he says, "It's not very. It is. I would say that we don't normally see strangers here, but that cliche doesn't work when you're on one of the main roads from Wavecrest to Blackwater. So, what brings you all here? Are you resupplying for the long voyage?"
We're here
That's
to
exactly
pass
it.
through.
Passing through, getting some supplies.
That's great. That as you could imagine, that happens quite frequently with travelers. People are either coming this way to go to Wavecrest or the opposite way, but everyone comes here to take in the wonders of our general store. I presume that you have noticed that there is a problem with our general store, though.
Oh,
We might have noticed.
Yes, we were curious the tale that goes along with that.
Well, I will tell you the story, but only if you tell me that you'll think about helping, because we need help.
Helping what we do.
a long time ago, a time that I don't know how long it was, and if you ask everyone in town, everyone will give you a different answer. A wizard who no one remembers his name. It might have even been a woman. It doesn't matter. We don't remember exactly what it was. Put a ward on that building that has prevented it from aging, and also was to protect it in the event that something bad happened to it. Some number of days ago, I believe it was about a week, something happened to it in the middle of the night. None of us are aware of what, and the ward was triggered. And none of us knew what the ward was going to do. We just knew it was magically protected. And this circle of fire appeared around the general store. The fire is not dangerous, and people were kind of panicked for a few days, but they have since kind of moved about their business. We don't have time to really worry. But myself and the rest of the council and some of the other business owners in town are obviously concerned. And also, the owner of the general store is inside. And I am not certain that she is able to escape. She has the general store there, so she probably has months worth of supplies. And we did send someone to Wavecrest about a week ago to try and bring back help, but they have not returned. And so, yeah, do you think you might be able to help save our general store? At the very least, it would help you resupply for the rest of your journey, and I am certain that we could find something in our vaults to reward you.
All right. Well, yes, I got a magic. Have to look at some magic.
Yes, I think this might be right up your alley, Preston.
Yes. The first, one cannot unravel the great arcane mysteries of the world on an empty stomach.
Oh, are they serving you? Do I need to get you food?
The new guy got us.
Oh. Yes, he is. Everyone needs a job around here, and he chose this one. And I think he may have been better off as blacksmith's apprentice. It's a little slower, the work is harder, but it's, I think he would be less panicked. But this is what he chose.
He seems very nice.
Oh,
so
he's wonderful.
At least there's that.
He is very nice, but he seems a little panicked by the number of people in here at dinner time. But it is, of course, dinner time at the only tavern in the town. So, of course, it gets very busy. And as he says that, the kid comes out from the kitchen with a tray full of plates of stew and, drinks. And he gets it to your table, but you're pretty convinced that he had some kind of divine magic getting him there, because he half trips, almost spills it a few times. The plates are sliding around on the tray, and he drops it down on the table. Here we go, and he starts, passing, these kind of shallow bowls to everybody, and hands out a drink. As he does that, the mayor he's the mayor. Now you know who he is. The human in the suspenders says, "Son, I'll take care of this. They don't need to pay anything because they're going to help solve our general store problem." At which point the kid just kind of shrugs and runs away to go do more work.
Good Sir Mayor, do you know if there's any entertainment planned for this evening?
No, there is not.
Well, since you're being so nice and paying for our food, I know you're doing it just to sweeten the pot to get us to solve your problems. Allow me, the formerly magnificent Preston, to provide some entertainment for this evening in compensation for our visit, as one entertainer would do.
Oh, you're an entertainer?
I am the entertainer.
All right. Well, then, after you eat, there is a stage over there, and you are welcome to. You are certainly welcome to. Yeah, absolutely. You're certainly welcome to entertain everybody.
Fantastic. I feel more at home already.
Rory's just in the corner with her stew bowl, with her birds, and just trying to like feed them and apologize.
Did you see the picture of them that I posted for you?
No.
Those look like some angry birds.
I mean, listen, sometimes birds just be mad like that, I guess. So
Sometimes it do be like that.
sometimes it in fact do be like that sometimes. So so the mayor has pointed out the stage, and before he turns to wander off, and he kind of turns back and says, "Hey, I am assuming that you will need a place to stay for a few nights while you rest and resupply before you make the rest of the trip. I will make arrangements to get each of you a room upstairs here. We actually have plenty of room right now, so we certainly would love to have you stay."
Thank you so much.
And you see him, if you watch him, you see him go over and talk to the gnome standing on the bar, and he says some things, and the gnome just flashes a bright smile, gives him 2 points, and hops down and starts doing some stuff.
All right, so now that we've got some food, we know what we're doing for tonight. What do we think is going on over there?
Well,
I mean, clearly, go
it
ahead.
all started a week ago, so what were our actions? Maybe can we try to line up what we have done with what has been happening here? And I kind of hush my tone. It's like, I, as much as things around me tend to be my fault, I would really not like the giant circle of fire to have been my fault.
I mean, this is pretty far away from where we were. I don't know how far these things range. Magic is like, I just dabble in a little bit of it. I don't know much about how this might work.
And you do a fantastic
Vera,
job.
what do you think? Vera, you're more magical than, have skills in this. Do you have any thoughts on if this could have been something that is related to what we were dealing with back in Wavecrest?
I have almost no experience in this kind of conjuration, so I'm gonna have to defer to Preston on this one because he has more arcane knowledge than I do.
Mm.
This happened. Apparently, the ward went up in the middle of the night when we were down in the well. Was that midday? Was that like what time of day was that? I can't. My recollection is a bit foggy. I'm hoping to remember.
It was during the day. You guys have not
that's
had.
what I remember.
You guys have not had any crazy activities at night yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is necessarily something that we triggered or anyone in our group triggered.
Understandably so, but the best way to kind of prove what will have caused it is to remove ourselves from because if magic's a whole bunch of complicated formulas and lines on pieces of paper. I know that's not how it actually works because Vera just has her light and shining heart, and that's where her magic comes from. All these gnomes all they need to do is just wiggle their nose and stuff happens. But, how I got my magical training came from about 5 odd years of hard work and writing stuff down. Good news about that is if it's made of magic, it can be undone. So maybe we just find the appropriate counter spell or counter ritual and we bring the wall down. At least long enough to let the person inside out.
there's no way to put like a door into some kind of barrier like that, I would presume, to just give her passage. I would presume that doesn't sound like how it would work if it's supposed to be a barrier for protection.
I could get her out, maybe, on a good day.
Right, but they still want their store back.
Yeah, like...
So if we can dispel that or turn it off in some way, I think
I would need to be stronger in order to actually cast proper counter magic.
Right.
However...
While you are speaking, the tavern keep, the gnome that was standing on the table, he comes up and says, "Pardon the interruption, everybody, but," and he puts 5 keys on 5 like obnoxiously large wooden, like planks with room numbers on them. These are your rooms. They are upstairs, and he gives you the quick directions. His directions are awfully specific, considering there is only one staircase and only one hallway, but he's very precise with telling you how to go. So the mayor tells me that you guys are going to help figure out what's going on with the ward.
We're going to try our best.
Oh, that's great.
You called it a ward? Sure, certainly.
So, that thing, I think the ward was put up like, 25 something years ago, before I came to town. And so, but maybe if you want to figure out how to take it down, maybe, stay the night. Tomorrow, our town historian, who happens to be the school teacher, you go visit her. She might be able to tell you a little bit more about how how that spell was cast. And then maybe that might give you a clue on how to undo it.
I think you're going to need to speak to the teacher. I have a terrible reputation with teachers.
I can do that.
Maybe we need some culinary magic.
Forgive me, I'm about to get a cough.
I mean, are you saying I need to go and bake cookies? Because I can do that.
Wait, we have
As
a
long as
bakery
I
in
have
town.
As long as I have access to, I can do that. Let's go see if I can chat with some bakers and see if we can go whip something up.
I mean, at the very least, it wouldn't hurt to make it easier to have a conversation.
Sure. There is a bakery on the south end of town. It's called the Bountiful Buns Bakery.
Oh.
I actually love that a lot.
That is such a cute name.
Arky, is tomorrow a school day? Relevant question, because...
No, I don't think school is in session tomorrow, but the school teacher is, she's our town historian, so when she is not teaching, she is often there. You shouldn't have a problem finding her. And it's the schoolhouse. Oh, what'd you say?
School days? Does one not just have a tutor come to one's home?
Well,
I'm just gonna stare at you.
in a town like this.
What?
In a town like this one, we actually have all the children gather and have one teacher.
Fascinating.
I know, right? It's so quaint. But you'll get to learn all about it tomorrow when you go visit her. But I have to go about my business. But she should be able to give you some more information about how everything was cast. And she knows a little bit about everything. Maybe she might be able to tell you a little bit about, who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
But you'll be able to get her out of there, right? Because we're not worried for now, because we know that she could probably live for 2 weeks on the pickles in there alone. And we know she's got plenty of supplies, but, eventually we'd like her to come out. She'd be very irritated that I keep saying eventually.
She probably would be, I'd imagine, yes.
I'm sure.
Well,
she looks like she's ready to be out of there.
How about I give you more drinks and you don't tell her that I said eventually when you rescue her?
I like the way
you.
And so he kind of smiles, does one of these, and then books off. And And, you know, as he jumps up on the bar, you see him whisper to one of the serving ladies, not the new guy, and she comes around with another group of 5 even bigger mugs. This mug is uncomfortably large. Like, this is it comes in a pint moment, but it's like really big. And, you know, and then they kind of all go about their business.
I have a semi-related but not like in-game question, like above board, above table. The ward that is around the building, is it domed or is it a cylinder?
You are unaware yet, as of right now. But if anyone knows how to find that information out, it is the person with the army of birds.
Birds? Yeah. I was just curious if we could see it easily or if I needed to send them out.
The way it looks to you is it looks like a wall of fire that starts at the ground, and at the base, you know, it's translucent, right? Like, you can see through it, but you can still see the flames. I'm using air quotes because it's not real fire. So up until about like twice Thalia's height, it is big fire, right? Above that, the flames like reach up. You know, it's kind of like the top of the fire, and that goes up for about twice as high. So it's pretty tall, but you don't see the fire like curving in to form a dome or anything like that.
Okay. I was just curious because I would assume that if you were going to put a building in a ward, it would be domed to cover the top as well.
I mean, if I were doing it, 100% that's what would have happened, but I didn't do it.
Okay.
Good to know.
It does not appear domed. And you, from your perspective, because it's high enough, you would see if there was like a top of fire. So, I mean, your birds are just chilling on the roof right now. You could.
Yeah, well, I was feeding them, but they're probably up there now.
Oh,
but it was more of a
you have a lot of birds, so you have some that you're feeding. You can't have all of them.
I am apologizing.
Listen,
for the
Sleeping
ones
Beauty.
I'm here with us.
It's like I picture like Sleeping Beauty, but it's like the goth version. So that's, you know, just like every.
Why do you think I picked her name?
Yeah, it's Sleeping Beauty, only very depressing, which is saying a lot because Sleeping Beauty kind of depressing to begin with.
Sleeping Beauty, but
Also true.
she's the one that puts people to sleep.
Yeah, that's it. Because she's putting them to sleep so that they don't have to experience the pain and misery. That's what it is.
Just go to sleep.
Just go to sleep. Yeah, I mean, you could send your birds to investigate that if you wanted. You've got like some birds that are just chilling on the top, like really annoyed at you right now. Like, I can't believe this chick.
Hey, I know I really pissed you off already, but can you just go towards the fire one more time?
Just once.
And then, so
But
like
just
this.
like
real
see
quick.
if there's a way to go down from the middle.
Okay, so
go
like-
up high enough and try to go down from the middle.
So there's like 4 birds on the roof that just didn't feel like coming inside, but are like close enough to still feel like they're satisfying their spiritual obligation to you. And then, like, you know, in your head, you see the 4 of them kind of like do the equivalent of spirit drawing straws, and one of them gets it and kind of flaps up over the top of the, you know, tries to figure out what the top of the fire is, goes above where the flames of the circle are licking, and kind of settles down and feels their feet settle on a what would feel like a real, you know, the sensation they get is a really squishy roof. And then they get a very, very strong and tense tingling sensation that Dane, I'd like you to make a Constitution save
For my bird?
for you from your bird.
Oh.
They do have a connection with you.
11.
Well, so you are stunned. And so what that means is, for the moment, You until I tell you otherwise, you cannot move or speak.
Okay, Rory's just having an existential crisis into hers too.
Everybody
What
just
this
watched
way?
her. So you guys are just sitting there,
Esty?
and she just like just kind of takes a moment, just and now she's just not really moving.
What just happened?
I think her assorted familiars have discovered something foul. The birds have come upon something foul.
Anything to do with their birds? She could have just eaten something.
I don't love this.
I'm serious. How would you know that?
Because if it was food, one of us would also have gotten it. And I just presuppose, I have an intense connection with Truffles. Right now, Truffles isn't here because he got stabbed by bugs. But if Truffles was here, I would have had him escape the wall. Wow.
So Dana, you can talk again. That was really painful, by the way, Dana. Like, you didn't take damage, but it hurt.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, what happened?
I
Do you need a hug?
Yes, I would really like a hug. I sent my birds to just go check to see if there was like a top to this ward with flames and see if they could get down onto the roof to see if we could get her out from the top instead of trying to get her out from the side.
Right.
And they landed and something zapped them and hurt me in the process.
Oh, are they okay?
I don't know, is my bird chicken, like fried chicken up at the top of the roof now?
I hope
It
not.
got just kind of like, I mean, at the end of the day, they're spirits, so it didn't get
yes,
fried.
they're like celestial, so it's not really.
It landed, it got, and then it just kind of like flew Wile E. Coyote style, like back out of the other building, and like then the other three birds that were up there just kind of like stomped it out, thinking it was on fire, and so it's just
Did the
kind of like.
birds inside do anything when that happened? Because they're all connected. They're like a hive mind.
They got like really uncomfortable, but they were not stunned. The stun was to you.
Okay, because I mean that potentially could have given away the fact that like it was the birds. If the birds had,
I mean, they definitely all reacted. They did not get stunned, but they all reacted.
They got like flustered.
Yes, they definitely did. But you were the only one that was stunned. The birds just kind of.
What happens to my birds when they like the one that hit the wall? Do they like?
Like nothing actually happens. Nothing actually happens to them. Like the way that the Swarm Keeper works is they are spirits. So like when you shoot one out of your bow and arrow, that one like hits the target and like dissipates, but like reforms later as part of the swarm. They're not. Okay. I'm being silly and giving them a Disney animal personality, but
wanted to make sure that that's because that's how I envisioned it too. It's just like you throw them at them, they're like little poltergeists, and then they just reappear in the group.
Yeah, they are in essence cartoon characters. Like bad things can happen to them, and they will always come back a few seconds later. But for comedic effect.
That's absolutely what I figured. I'm used to having a familiar, not like the swarm.
These function very similarly without the standard familiar rules, but for all intents and purposes, they're like tiny ones.
Okay.
So the innkeeper gave you your keys. You have been fed, so you have a couple of options, and I will present them just to make life easier for all of us. You could go to bed. Preston would roll his performance roll to see if he entertains the crowd or not, and then the entertainment would be done off stage. And then we wake up in the morning. You proceed on your adventure, or if you decide to make further adventures in the early evening, you are welcome to do so. Because your dinner is all paid for.
Well, did we want to go to the bakery and make some cookies for the teacher?
Yes, I think.
I mean,
we
I
gotta
do.
And I think we also can explore the town a little bit. We have it's only just supper time. We don't need to turn in just yet. You know, maybe see if anyone else
Sure.
says anything about the area.
I will stay here. Keep our spot in the tavern open.
Okay.
And that's the
Appreciate
goodwill
the sacrifice, bud.
and of course earn the goodwill of the townspeople.
Or try to. Okay. So, Mike, I would like you. So you're gonna mute yourself, and what I would like you to do is type what you are doing to entertain the crowd in the Roll20 chat, and then I'm gonna ask you to roll 2 perform checks. So you can take your time. So is anyone else staying behind, or is it the 4 of you that are going to go seek adventure?
I think the 4 of us are going to make some cookies. I would suggest that we put the keys in a bag of holding so we don't have to worry about them.
Well, I have them. I have a
Okay.
bag of holding, so that's okay. We'll put it in mine.
Should we leave
Perfect.
Preston with his key?
I mean, that's on him if he forgets.
Preston, do you want your key?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay. So you give Preston his key. You guys take yours. It is comically large, so he tries to find a place to put it, and he'll figure it out. Bag of holding certainly works. So as you exit the tavern, it hasn't been too long, but clearly the sun is starting to go down. There are fewer people on the street than there were previously, but there are not no people on the street. And as you exit the building, you do see the schoolhouse to I'm actually just moving Aurora and putting her in front of it. You see the schoolhouse is the black roofed building. You see the schoolhouse sign to the left, and that is there. And you can see on the other side of the square an orange roofed building with a sign that says Bountiful Buns Bakery with like a Danish looking thing on the front. Kind of straight away. So like here.
Okay.
And you're starting to see smoke coming out of the chimneys from the different buildings. You're seeing light out of their windows, that type of thing. What would you like to do?
Shall we start with the bakery?
Yes, please. I'd like to go
Alright.
and introduce myself to see if perhaps we can collaborate on a recipe.
Sure. All right. Following the delicious scent of fresh bread and pastries, your group finds itself standing in front of a charming, half-timbered building. The sign swinging above the door, bearing the image of a generously filled bun, proclaims it as the Bountiful Buns Bakery. The aroma wafting from the chimney makes your mouths water in anticipation. Amanda, Vera, like, absolutely, like, as you step up, like, okay, she's making bread for tomorrow. Like, you just know,
I'm so excited.
As you step through the door, the delicious smell of baking dough becomes even more overwhelming. The interior is a comfortable chaos of fresh loaves, cooling pies, and more pastries than you have ever seen in one place, except for maybe Thalia, because she's bougie like that. She's probably seen a lot of pastries. But still an impressive number, Thalia. Still an impressive number, just maybe not as impressive as you have seen. A large old-fashioned oven occupies the corner with its door propped open with a brick that looks the large old-fashioned oven. So it's everything is this like amazing looking, like well-kept thing, except it's got a busted ass oven with the
Those are the best ovens, though.
and the
Those are the
oven.
best ovens.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this to judge it, and so it looks like everything is being kind of held together and like propped up on a brick. So around cheering woman, dusted with flour and with exuding a sense of warmth that matches the room. stands behind the counter, busy kneading dough, and she greets you. Hey, I'm making bread for tomorrow, but I still have goods for sale. You're strangers in town. Great to see you.
Hello, I'm Vera. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, Vera. And she stops kneading dough, and she reaches over and kind of wipes her hands, and then she opens up a glass cabinet from behind and like brings out a pastry that she cuts into quarters, and then just without even saying anything, just kind of puts them on little plates and puts them at the front of the counter, and then just kind of does like a point. You know what she's saying. It's very clear. She's saying, eat this thing.
I'm down. I eat the thing.
You'll love it. It's delicious. It's one of my favorites. So what brings you in here? Are you, other than the fact that everything is delicious, are you looking for food for, traveling out of town, or?
I will be at some point. However, I too am a baker.
What?
I am a mistress of culinary magic myself.
Well,
So I thought that I would come in and meet a fellow artisan, a fellow craftsperson.
well, it's always great to see someone that is skilled in my craft. And she, now that she's around a fellow craftsperson, she gets right back to work. So, did you have business to talk?
Well, I was wondering if A, you were selling any cookies, or B, if you are not selling cookies, if I might be able to collaborate with you on a cookie recipe. We are trying to save the general store. So, believe it or not, the culinary magic is going to come into play with the general store. It's to, maybe grease the wheels of a conversation.
I thought you were gonna try and use actual cookie magic to take down the ward. No, you're gonna bribe someone with a cookie?
I mean, gently.
Oh, all right.
Or just get
Who
them
is
to
it?
open up to me a
Who
little
is it?
bit.
Who is it? I can tell you what they like. I know what everybody likes.
You do?
I know what
Well,
everyone likes.
that is very, very helpful because we are going to have a conversation with a teacher.
Oh, the historian?
A historian, yeah.
Oh, well, so that's the historian is Mrs. Twaddle. She doesn't like anything.
Like anything? Like nothing? Like no sweet, no savory, no nothing?
She has never come in here, not spelled the way you think it is, Marie. It's with D's, not a T, you monster. No, everything I have ever given her, she's turned her nose up at. So I could tell you what she doesn't like, and you could maybe figure it out. But we would have to collaborate, and this might take all night. This is a challenge.
I'm in.
Okay, so I have to put this bread in the oven for the tavern.
Cool.
Why don't you come back after this is done, and the two of us can work together and try and find something for her?
I'm in. Let's do
Okay.
it. I will be back soon.
Yeah, I have to put these in the oven very soon, and then if you come back in an hour, it would be great.
All right, I'm down. I'll see you in about an hour. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, while this was happening, Preston did a stage performance with arcane magic. He cast a minor illusion to conjure jungling balls that fly out of his hat and into his outstretched hand. I appreciate the use of illusion magic to make up for the fact that he definitely couldn't juggle. With prestidigitation, Preston creates a brilliant display of lights and colors as produced and disappears common objects into his hat. And everyone is amused. Like, this is pretty neat. Nobody's like freaking out fanboys, but everyone is like, all right, this is cool. This is acceptable tavern entertainment.
I appreciate that.
All right. And we'll ignore that 3. So they're the roll is successful. They are happy with what they got. And there's a scattering of applause. One person threw a flower. There was still like dirt on the end of it though, so it was a little like, it was improvised. It was not. They weren't planning on entertainment. This isn't the Eras tour. You know what I mean? Like they weren't ready.
Just giving them the hits.
All right.
All.
So,
but I collect my tokens of appreciation, and then I go upstairs and prepare to cast a Find Familiar spell and take a bath.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. All 5 of your rooms have a bath inside with buckets of hot water ready for you. I guess I'm telling the 4 of you ahead of time. You'll get it when you get there. So, as the 4 of you leave the bakery, you hear her kind of say, "Wow, this is exciting. It's not often I get to collaborate with anyone." As the door shuts, and again, as the minutes pass, the sun goes farther down. The things that you can see kind of across here, kind of to your left, following the circle of the town, following the circle of the town center clockwise, you see what looks like a blacksmith shop, a kind of a small cottage next to it, but the center of the square is taken up by a giant oak tree that is, just it's just huge. There are benches around, kind of with their backs to the tree. You see a few people sitting on the benches, just kind of resting underneath it. There's initials carved into the tree, things like that.
I think if Rory is out in the center of town at all, near the tree, all of her swarm is just chilling up in the tree.
Oh, absolutely. That's fine. They all, so as you get close to it, they're all like, "Tree!" And then just freak out. They're like, wow, it's like, they all settle down, and it's just like this sense of relief. Like, wow, we actually get to chill like in a tree as opposed to a wagon or ground or whatever. It's like, tree! You just get like this energy from them. And they're just, the birds actually get a little cuter as they get into it, like, as opposed to like ravens. They're just, they're just, oh man, there's just something about home. You know what I mean? But as your flock like loses their mind flying into the tree, like the young couple that was sitting underneath it gets a little uncomfortable and just kind of walks away.
Sorry.
I mean, the young man just, their back is to you, and he just gives like a little wave after he hears you,
Just kind of glare it up and be like, "Chill out, guys."
Just relax.
Be cool, babies. Damn.
Exactly.
Be cool, birds. Be cool, birds. So any other buildings you want to go to? You can see the schoolhouse on the other side of the building, and the light is on.
I don't really want to see her before we have stuff to give her.
What about just walking by? Not stop there, but just do the loop. Like walk around, then we can circle back to the bakery. We're doing an evening stroll.
Walking the sidewalk of the neighborhood.
Basically.
That's nice.
Like, we'll not go to the door. Like, just that little glance as we walk by, and then just keep on going.
I'm down.
All right.
Let's do it.
Sure. So the 4 of you walk clockwise around the circle square. You see you hear the noise of the blacksmith hammer on steel. Clearly still hard at work, even though it's almost nighttime. Obviously important business being done there. And you pass by the schoolhouse. You see that the light, the candles and lanterns are lit inside, and you do, as you peer through the window, casually, so as to not be seen, but still take a look, you do see a rather severe-looking woman sitting behind a desk with, thick glasses, poring over papers, and you just see a desk that is just piled with objects, whether it be papers, those little chalkboards, but also books and like what looks like a rock, clearly she is both a teacher and historian, and that is very obvious just from, kind of looking through the window. Marie, can I have a perception check, please?
Yeah, once again.
So you don't really. So you're not able to perceive anything specific, but you do know. It looks like there's a road that goes in between the schoolhouse and the tavern, and there are further buildings to the northwest. That's it. You noticed buildings. I didn't want you to say you saw nothing. You saw buildings.
She was focused on the tree.
She was. I mean, because your birds were just causing drama.
They're so obnoxious.
She was worried about your obnoxious birds.
They have no chill.
The birds do have no chill.
The zero chill birds.
So, are either of you going to interact with the teacher's door, the teacher's building, or are we going to leave Mrs. Twaddle until tomorrow?
We're gonna leave her alone.
Yep.
Okay.
Tomorrow is soon enough.
What if she's super nice and is just like, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow.
You know what?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Go for it. Go.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
As you approach the charming one-room building, the sound of soft humming drifts through the open window. Excuse me. This is the local schoolhouse with its neatly lined desk and a large chalk-dusted blackboard, taking up the entire back wall. Miss Twaddle, she is a rather severe-looking woman, a human, sitting at the desk with kind of pot with piles of papers in front of her, and she looks up. May I help you?
Pardon me, I'd heard of this schoolhouse, I believe it's called. Yes?
This is the school of this town, yes.
Fascinated. You are wise enough to teach multiple children at the same time?
Yes, that is my job. I do that, I am the town historian.
Amazing.
Do you not have schools where you are from?
No, I had several teachers, but none of them were smart enough to know so much as to teach many children at once.
Oh!
Amazed at your skill.
Well, I am quite skilled. I'm sure your teachers were skilled too. They were just paid very well, I am sure.
I assume so. I never asked my father of such matters. It's not my business. But amazing. He must be miraculously intelligent.
I would like... okay, so... Marie,
Hey,
is Thalia... So I'm gonna ask...
Is
Thalia being genuine? Or
yes,
is she...
no,
okay.
Thalia legit thinks this is amazing. Like, I am this.
Are we about to be condescending? Or
Okay. So she succeeded at her insight check, and she is surprised, and so she's clearly surprised by your genuine excitement at a school. So yeah, I appreciate the compliment. Did you just want to talk about what school is, or was there something else that you needed?
No, I also heard that you were a historian, so I mean, like, again, wow. The things you must know. Perhaps, do you know about the flaming store? Like, anything?
Well, It's the general store, but it is surrounded by flames, so I wouldn't call it flaming. And they aren't really flames. It's really just the shape that the defensive ward takes. This was a spell cast by a wizard that we don't know their name. It was cast on that store to keep it from deteriorating and protect it for, we suppose, ever. But at some point, in the last week or so, something happened that triggered the defenses, and so now we can't get in, and unfortunately, the owner of the general store can't get out.
Yes, that's tragic. I mean, hopefully they have enough to sustain them before we can figure out how to rescue them. So you mentioned
did you
that
say
it was
we? Are you helping escape? Are you the people that we sent for?
No, we just happened by and we were asked to help. And then someone told me of your miraculous school with multiple children and one teacher.
Okay. Well, yes, you are too kind. I would not call teaching a miracle. I would call it hard work. But you're gonna make me be a jerk about teaching with a first grade teacher in the chat. This is what she's doing. So if you're here to help,
nursing while we're at it. Let's go.
We need to. We'll wait until you get to the infirmary. You haven't gotten there yet. Everything that nurse says is a lie. Anyway. No. Anyway, back to. I could. I have something here that was written about the ward. Let me see if I can find it. And so she starts kind of shuffling through her papers, and eventually she, tips the rock thing over and picks, and there's a piece of parchment. And yes, so I have theorized that magic is, every ward like that has some kind of a password or a key. And so my suspicion is that if you were to find or figure out that password, then you may be able to bring the barrier down. Now, if you're worried about the mistress of the general store, she eats like a bird to begin with, but the general store at any one time is well stocked. She could live for a week just on the pickles in there alone. So, no, not more than a week. She could live there for a month just on the pickles alone, let alone all of the dry goods. So we are not concerned, and even she is not truly concerned about running out of food, assuming someone can get her out soon. But that is what I suspect, is that somewhere, there should be some way to figure out the password, and we do know that the wizard who cast it was a member of this community. So I think that it's even possible that some of the clues that you need may be about town. But I don't know how to find them. Otherwise, I would have done it myself.
Is there by chance a cucumber farm anywhere in this town?
Cucumber farm? I mean, there's farmers that grow all manner of produce. I don't know if anyone is growing cucumbers at this time.
I was just wondering if the pickles were local.
Oh, yes, of course. Everything she sells is local. It is all created by local craftsmen, and then she stocks it.
Amazing. This town is truly a wonder.
Yeah, and it would be even more wonderful if the travelers coming through could use our general store.
Indeed. Like, I didn't want to be bother, and you seem to be hard at work, and I am very sorry for troubling you. I just had to see the miraculous woman who could teach so many children. It's amazing. And the local historian. Just teachers are worth their weight in platinum. Amazing.
Wow. Platinum. I don't think I've even ever seen one of those. Well, I appreciate the kind words. I will be here all day tomorrow if you need me.
Thank you.
need to get back to work.
Do you happen to be a fan of cookies or desserts of any kind?
Have you? I am not,
Oh,
but I'm sure that if you talk to Matilda, that she will tell you that she is trying to find something. Maybe there is something, but I haven't found it yet. I am, I try to only eat what I need.
I see. All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much. And again, I'm so sorry to bother. People should be kind to teachers and not be bothersome. Just saying.
Yes, that is true. Now, if you don't mind. And then she fixes her glasses and kind of stares right at her desk. And starts, kind of moving stuff around. You get a sense, even without an insight check, that she is very obviously just moving stuff around and waiting for you to leave.
Yep, I get it.
Can you make another perception check as you turn out of the way? Little bit better. As you it looks like no, you can't, because it's not a dexterity check. Nope. Yeah. Unfortunately, battle masters do not get to be more observant. With that said, as you listen, it can't hurt to ask. As you turn around to leave, you do notice a kind of like through one of the back windows, you notice kind of off to the side, kind of a busted up old well in the back.
No, we're not doing this again,
Do
are
not
we?
want.
I feel like we've done this before.
All right. I'm leaving. I'm going to tell everyone what I saw. I'll go.
If we're gonna do it, we need Preston with us.
That is I think that is a tomorrow project.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, that's something for future us.
So I will
Okay.
say, if there's a well system, there may be a tunnel-ish way up into the general store.
Marie, are
Yeah.
you gonna go? Did you say you're gonna go look at the well, or are you?
No,
You're
no,
no. Oh, okay, I didn't know if you said. I thought I heard you say I'll go look myself. Never mind then. But you are aware that it is there. And So, what are you guys gonna do next?
Has it been an hour?
Not really, but like
Can
we
we
could pretend that it was.
Meander slowly back towards the bakery and make it an hour.
This town isn't that big, but if we want to just do if you want to sit at the campfire and let an hour pass, we can sit at the campfire and let an hour pass. Yeah. So you sit at the campfire, an hour passes, and you head back to the bakery, and as she said, the bread is all in the oven. Clearly, she's very efficient at what she does, or she's been doing this the same way every day for quite some time. She waves Vera in, and would so Vera, you're welcome to come in and collaborate. The three of you could stay if you want, but I suspect the two of us are going to do work. We'll probably be working well into the evening. I don't know if you wanted to stay here or you could just go to bed.
If it helps at all, Mrs. Twaddle said that she didn't like to eat anything other than what she needed. So maybe something...
Wait, you talked to her?
Yes.
She talked to a stranger? I mean, there's a reason she's the town historian. It's because she only talks to people from in town. Did you just did you just open her door and just walk in?
Yes.
I mean, we were
Does she
polite.
do this a lot?
Yes.
And you're
Being
okay?
right seems to be my thing.
Okay, so I'm just surprised. And she didn't throw you out?
Well, I find when I'm receiving genuine compliments, I usually let them. Most
you
of
paid her
the
compliments.
boys
Okay.
back home were very complimentary about my dowry. But
Okay.
yes, she implied that she only likes to eat what she needs. So if you could think of something maybe nutritious or that she could eat, maybe something compact so she could keep studying, maybe that would.
Okay. Okay. Well, that is something for Vera and I to think about. And yeah, we'll do that. And so she immediately starts chatting with Vera, and the two of them like start talking a language that doesn't make a lot of sense about ingredients and temperatures and techniques and things that are, that they're in common, but you don't know what they're trying to say. But it'll be delicious. That's the end result. Like, that it sounds good. So as the dungeon master, this part is going to be done off stage. We're going to do some dice rolling, Amanda. With that said, Marie's forthrightness and genuine complimentary nature did earn both of you advantage on your checks to get this done. Cooking is a wisdom skill, so we're gonna go with that. I don't know. I decided cooking is a wisdom skill because the cleric is our cook, and I wanted it to be good. I cheated for my team.
Well, it's a science. It's not
real.
an art.
It is probably
Rule of awesome. I love
yeah, exactly. So, so Marie did in fact get both you and the baker advantage on your checks. So, it at this point, it'll be breaking into long rest time. Vera, you are the only trick is you're gonna get a long rest, but in order to get a long rest, you will not be able to change your spells today.
Okay, good to know.
So, you want to roll some dice?
I'm so down for dice rolling.
I would. We're gonna treat this as basically like a wisdom saving throw. So just go ahead and do a wisdom check there, buddy.
On it. Yeah.
And remember, you have advantage.
Yeah. I still
that's
rolled a
pretty good.
21, so I think I'm good.
All right. Well, I mean, you should probably check anyway, just in
You want
case
me
you
to
crit. Roll again, just in case you crit, dude.
No, I got you. No, it's garbage.
Okay.
Not a crit.
So it's a 21, and she rolls, and she rolled well. I'm not going to say what the number was, but she also rolls well. So the two of you are super successful in taking that utilitarian advice, and Matilda starts with a suggestion of, well, if she really wants to only eat what she needs, then what we need to do is make something that's going to last a super long time. So she starts like, what if we made like a really delicious, like kind of like field ration, like that kind of thing, but like make it have flavor. And then you come back off that, and the two of you make something, and what it looks like when it all comes off of it is just this tray of what looks like a cross between like a shortbread and like a hardtack, but it's like, I mean, I guess it is, but it's not, because that's copyrighted. But it is super dense, and you put some nice color into it because of course you did. And so she cuts it up into geometric shapes because she's a teacher, and puts it in a basket, and gives it to you so that you can give it to her in the morning. And she also gives you 1 gold piece for your troubles.
Fabulous.
Please do let me know if this works, because if it does, I will have to keep these in stock forever, because it will be good for me to have her happy.
Yes, that is the overall impression that I'm getting here.
And as she hands you that stuff, you see her start to like snuff out candles and like get the keys so she can, start shutting down and heading home. Would you mind It's later than I normally go. Would you mind escorting me to my home?
Of course. I would not mind at all.
Her house is, one of the smaller houses kind of towards the northeast. It's kind of right next to the general store. So it is, up here. And it's a short walk, but I think she wanted it's clear that she wanted the company more than the protection. And as she steps through her front door, she waves and says, "I'll be back at work tomorrow morning. I have to make more stuff for the tavern. So I will hopefully see you all soon. I'll have breakfast ready."
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your help. It was a genuine pleasure collaborating.
Oh, absolutely. I never get to. No one else with our skills comes through here very often. And so she kind of shuts her door, and you see you see a quick spark of fire and some candles start getting lit, and you hear the door lock behind you. Is anyone going to do anything other than go to sleep and get their long rest?
Time for sleep.
All right. So as you walk towards the tavern, you do notice that the fire around the tavern not the tavern. It didn't get bigger. The fire around the general store does give off a gentle glow. But no warmth. So it's like a really weird, uncomfortable feeling of, kind of that, it feels like you should be near a fireplace, but are getting none of the real benefit from it. So it's like a little disappointing as you walk by, because if it was actually giving off warmth, it would, it would be almost cozy were it not like, if that was the case, a death trap. You make it back into the tavern. As you come in, clearly it is still happening. There is a new performer up, a young lady who is singing. She's singing kind of an epic that, Thalia, you recognize this song. It's an epic of a war epic. She's doing an awful job. But she's doing her best, but you've heard better. And everybody else is generally moving in the direction of either going home or getting so drunk that they're going to need help to walk home. It's turning into that kind of tavern.
Oh no, it's that kind of night.
So
it was the kind of night we had a couple months ago, folks. Remember?
The Dungeon Master remembers. Dungeon Master always remembers. So, So she notices you and kind of flourishes in your direction as her voice absolutely breaks on a high note, like really uncomfortably. Linda at this point, like, Pin is like, this is a yikes.
I'm gonna stand up and cheer and congratulate her for finishing the song.
All right, that's fair.
Beautiful. Thank you for stopping. That was amazing. Bravo. I'm so proud.
Radical candor strikes again.
This was amazing, balls. Go have some bread.
And so she
That's something now.
And all the and when you do that, all of the patrons in the tavern they just erupt in cheering. And she goes with it, and thank you. She gives a nice stage bow, and then she steps off, and then goes up to one of the other rooms that was not yours. Is anyone staying in the tavern, or are you all going to bed?
Going to bed.
All right. So, Preston, did you go to bed already? He did already, right? He went to go get. All right. So,
Yeah.
Preston's an old man. He'd already been asleep. He'd been asleep.
Why does everyone assume that I'm so old? I'm only 30.
Your name is Preston. I just assumed that you were old. Are you not?
Oh, no.
I've just imagined like Rupert Giles. You know what I mean?
No. So I look very old and frail because of various reasons.
Okay, so you're not actually old. Well, you're old at heart. You're an old soul.
Yeah. I'm very much am old at heart and very much
All right.
unexpected hero.
So everybody goes to bed. Does anyone leave their door unlocked?
No.
No.
Listen, I'm just asking.
Technically unwise.
I'm just asking questions. All of you get to your rooms. A bath is already drawn. A bath is already drawn. There are, the bathtub is there with big buckets of hot water and all the stuff that you might need. Thalia, it'll pass. Okay, like it's not great, but you know where you're at.
Not the tree. I don't need to sleep, so.
Yeah, well, so you can just sit in the hot water until it turns cold, and then have a pool. So the evening passes, and morning arrives, and it is uneventful. You wake up, and all of you find your way down to the first floor of the tavern. The tavern keep is just as plucky and excited to see you as he was yesterday, and he hands you a small, he hands each of you a small basket of food. I'm assuming that you are going to be too busy today to sit and eat here, so I thought I would pack you something for the road. And you look in it, and it's like some bread and some cheese and some fruit. Just
so well taken care of. Thank you.
Just leave the baskets by the tree, and I will have someone fetch them later. I don't. And if you think that sounds weird, don't worry. We do that all the time.
Always perfectly fine.
Yeah, the baskets can stay near the tree. I have guys fetch them all the time. And then he goes right back to work.
Such a quaint small town thing. My goodness, can you imagine that in Wavecrest?
No, I can't.
So, where are you going to go first?
Well, we have a chance to catch Preston up with the what we saw behind the building.
True.
So, Preston,
Yo.
while you were asleep or after your performance, we noticed something by the teacher's building, the schoolhouse.
Certainly.
Found a well.
We didn't go near it though. Like
Yeah,
we
no.
just kind of we perceived its nature.
I mean,
and
in
then
fairness,
dipped.
Thalia perceived it very carefully with her razor sharp eyes after the fourth attempt.
True. Okay. Fair enough. I did not perceive it, and I'm okay with that.
True.
I was about to say, well, and I realized that
Boo.
that was poor choice of words on my part.
Kind of funny though.
Well, given the fact that the last time we found relevant adventure, it was below where the town originally was, in some dark and ancient crypt. Let's figure out if that well is if it's a portal to a dungeon.
Okay.
Before we explore that, do we want to stop by the school teacher and the historian with the special baked goods and because I have a feeling this is going to take our attention for a while.
You do
Yeah.
that. I'm going to go cast some ritual magic to let me detect magic and kind of get a better feel about this little ward.
Okay. So let's go run over and see the teacher.
Yeah. I take my my magician's cane and start tracing a circle like 10 feet from the board.
Sure.
I start prepping to cast a ritual of detect magic.
Sure.
Do you
Okay.
feel magic all around you?
You do, in fact. Everyone does, in fact, feel magic all around them. So Preston's going to mute himself. He's going to cast a ritual, and then the four of you guys are going to head over to the school. Who is going to bring the baked goods in?
Well, I mean, Thalia, you've already established a relationship, so I'll come in, but I feel like the presentation should be from you.
I agree.
Oh, that I would be delighted to give her a gift. She's miraculous, as I assume all teachers must be. Amazing.
That's a for real thing.
That's right.
For real.
For real.
So,
okay. So
real,
you
real.
give her the basket. All right. So as you get close to the building, you see her sitting behind the desk. The candles are no longer lit, but she moved because she probably had to have slept, but it doesn't look like she moved because she's sitting in the same space. The papers are in the same kind of position, and she's still fussing with them and reading things, etc. But if you didn't know better, you would think she had been there all night.
I mean, don't all teachers sleep at their school?
I mean, it's a very good question.
I'm going to go into how long I thought teachers lived in the school.
I was today years old when I found out. So, you open the door and, kind of walk in with the basket, and she looks up and so you notice her kind of sigh a little bit. Oh, hi, welcome back. Did you need my help already?
No, I wanted to. These are my companions, the ones who are going to help with the ward. But we wanted to thank you for your assistance and tolerating my intrusion last night. The baker that you had mentioned has worked with my amazing friend Vera here.
I'm
Okay.
Vera.
Something that I think might actually appeal to you.
Oh,
We
okay.
worked really hard to ensure that this is something that is geared towards your specific tastes and values.
Okay. And so she takes the basket and opens it up. And, I would like everyone present to make an insight check. You decide whether you walked in the room or not. I'm not gonna police you. Ooh. Rory with the 18. We got 18, 17, 18. Where's Pin? We got this one.
I'm coming.
This one has to be really bad for human. There it is.
Ta-da!
For hilarious effect. Pin,
Hey!
Pin. She can
All right.
breathe. She can obviously breathe. You know what I mean? Okay, so everyone that rolled really, really well compared to Pin, you almost saw a smile. Almost. She reacted and then immediately fought it back. You know what I mean?
Like the same way you have to hold back when the kids do something naughty and you can't let them see you smile.
Exactly. Like that.
Not that I've ever had that happen.
The faintest of a smile. So you get the sense that that's about as happy as she's gonna get
Ever
as she
in her
opens
life.
it. Maybe ever in her life. And so she, plainly just kind of opens the basket and just kind of holds up, one of the pieces of bread and then takes a bite. And again, you get a sense that she is very happy. She takes the smallest bite you could ever imagine a human taking and then puts it down and says, well, I really do appreciate this gift. I do have to get back to work. But please let me know if you find any clues and need help understanding them.
Most assuredly. And thank you again for everything. Miracle work.
And she kind of half rolls her eyes at the miracle thing. But as you all turn away, she says, wait, I had something else that I saw last night that I remembered it now. And so she starts shuffling through some papers again, and just another piece of paper that you've never seen before just kind of materializes. If you didn't know better, that desk would probably be magic. So this wizard who made this, like I said, the wizard who cast that word, they were a member of this community, and when they cast it, that was the biggest building in town. So, they were clearly trying to preserve it. It was a part of, everyone kind of shared that building. So I would bet that whatever the password might be would probably be something that kind of the whole community shared.
Is it pickles?
What?
Nothing. No.
I
have a thought. I really want to run out to that building now and yell a certain word at it, but sorry.
I mean, if you want, you could try. I mean, but I'm
gonna wait till we're done, but I'm
okay. Well, so I'm gonna continue to work. Let me know if you need any further assistance. And she goes back to her work.
Just leave, everyone. Trust me.
All right. We exit out.
As you leave, again, still shuffling papers, moving stuff around. Where do you go next? Preston, you're done with your ritual. It's been 10 minutes.
You look excited.
I want to run back to the general store and just yell the word pickles at it. Something everybody here knows. I'm just saying everyone comments on the pickles situation.
Is anyone going to stop her from doing that?
No.
Okay, are you actually going to do it?
Yes.
Okay.
So here I am casting a ritual.
Kind
of concentrate.
So and she just Thalia wind sprints past you, and you're like almost knocked over by the breeze as she runs up and yells pickles at the tavern, and the fire turns green.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I love you for this. I do.
I presume no other change in the height or the anything. It's merely a color change.
Yeah, it just looks green.
Cool.
So I've been sitting here casting detect magic and trying to understand the infrastructure of this ward as the pickles have been proclaimed.
And
do I get any additional insight in how the mechanics of this ward might work?
Okay, so you are casting. I'm assuming you're concentrating on detect magic. Yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so it is very clearly radiating abjuration magic, like some of the strongest abjuration magic you have ever encountered in your life.
Fantastic.
Like,
does it?
It almost hurts to look at.
Cool. In an attempt to not look directly into the pickle-colored flame.
Pickle-colored flame is definitely the title of this episode.
Pickle-colored flame is definitely the name of Preston's prog rock band. However, I'm trying to look for it to see if it's drawing, if it's drawing power from a source. That is outside of the circle. Like if there's
there is no way you can't perceive that. What you are perceiving, even with using all of your normal tricks to not be distracted by the bright glow of things that you are detecting magic, everything that you do, it's just kind of overpowered by how much magic you are detecting. It's like trying to figure out the smell inside Yankee Candle. You just can't.
Oh,
and wait, hold on. I want to add the extra piece. It's like trying to detect the smell in a Yankee Candle, and you're me. You know there's something there. You can tell. You can tell, but you don't really know. And so it's just kind of vaguely headachy.
So basically, I'm trying to find the black cat in the dark room. And hoping it's there. All right.
Nothing always opens its eyes.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not. So
giant pile of abjuration magic. No external power sources. No clear kinks or chinks in the armor.
Not that you can perceive.
And it radiates. I'm assuming I'm gonna kind of like, as I was doing this, I'm gonna point my concentration downwards into the ground.
Okay. Yeah.
And am I gonna sense some power beneath as well?
Not that you can perceive. No. It looks like the fire starts at the ground and goes up, and you can actually see a dome-ish shape over the top of it because you're perceiving the magical barrier. It's just clearly invisible.
Huh. Okay. I have a plan. And I casually with my cane kind of just scratch off a couple of the formula and sigils in the circle and break it.
Okay.
And then I feed Truffles a piece of cheese. And I kind of saunter my way towards the well.
Okay. Is anybody else going to go also?
Could y'all follow me for a moment? I have to test. I want to test something.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I
Just
threw yelling marshmallows at it, dude.
Nothing happens.
So it.
Did you touch it?
No. No.
Okay. Listen, if we're gonna lean into impulsive and forthright, I'm gonna just assume that when you pantomime stupid crap, I'm gonna assume you're doing stupid crap.
I will vocalize all of my stupid crap.
Okay. All right.
So-
all right.
Listen, the Chaos Goblin in my brain has been like, someone should touch it, but I don't want to.
Well, you already touched it with your birds. Okay.
With your spirit, and you passed
So
out.
as I approach the well,
Okay.
I'm going to
Wait. I have prepackaged text. Hold on.
I will hold. I will hold for blue text.
Yeah. Marie and Linda are like, I have heard this before. So standing proud, despite its evident age, an old stone well captures your attention. After a few tries, its stones, weather-worn and covered with patches of moss, suggest a rich history. Each brick is uniquely shaped, etched with intricate patterns that hint at old craftsmanship and the town's long history. A closer inspection reveals that several bricks are noticeably missing, leaving distinct gaps in the well's structure.
Okay. So is there a pebble nearby? Something?
I mean,
A lot of.
okay. I will tell you, yes, just assume that you're, from now until you are in Blackwater, assume there are always piles of dirt and or small rocks. Always.
Right. I will pick up a pebble, and I'm going to cast the cantrip light on the pebble to turn it into a
Light source.
and then I'm going to turn it into a light source, and then I'm going to drop it into the well.
Okay, you do, and it hits the dirt at the bottom of the well because this well has been filled in. So
Okay.
the bottom of the well is like a foot below where the stones are. So like this is where the bottom of the well is, where the stones are built, and the bottom of the well is like this. So you throw it down, and it like. It's a little, it just, and it just hits the dirt.
Well, there goes my guess.
What language are the stones written in?
I would like an investigation check if you are going to to investigate on that level.
Can I use a history check to see if I recognize the craftsmanship or any of the symbols?
Yes.
Sweet.
okay. I'm gonna give that a shot as well then.
Okay, so
Not with that roll.
okay, so the history. So we'll do the history stuff first. Vera, I don't know. The lines are nice.
The lines are nice. Yeah.
Thalia, it looks like letters in the common tongue, but they're all just kind of out of context. But they look like letters. Your examination of the well uncovers some intriguing details. The missing bricks do not seem to be random, but rather reveal a particular pattern, an order that is too intentional to be the result of mere chance. You find yourself suspecting that these bricks were deliberately removed. As your fingers trace the spaces where bricks once sat, you feel faint etchings on the inside of the gaps. You can just barely make out the form of old, faded letters. Illegible letters, but letters nonetheless. The realization dawns on you. Each missing brick must have carried a portion of a larger message, phrase, or word. A sense of anticipation fills you as you understand that finding each brick could bring you closer to unlocking the mystery of the fiery barrier.
So, I think that this well is enchanted and serves as the lock for which the key we must find and complete. And I repeat everything that Steve just said as general fact.
And any of you guys that you want can very easily just stick your hand in and feel it,
Okay.
Once you...
So...
made a comment that the ward was took the shape... when I said that it was fire, she said it took the shape of what was... I can't remember the exact wording, but something about that's the shape it took because of the... What kind of implied what it was threatening, that was why it took that shape. If this is a well, it had to do with water, and it took... Well, now it's afraid of pickles, but it was at first afraid of maybe this water, so the hell was in this well?
Well, the last time we found a well, we also found a crypt beneath it. I feel like whoever... I'm not going to say history will repeat itself, but suppose there was something deep, dark, and dangerous in here. I would cover it up.
Fine.
Also, the reason why I wanted to go to this well is the barrier stops at the ground. And I was thinking that there might have been a way to go in through the well and then up into the general store. But looking at this well and the various enchantments therein, I think this whole lock and key situation might be a better deal. I don't imagine us being very efficient. But puzzle finders, we are. It'd be hilarious if the password was somehow pickle related. We find a brick that has like ICK, another one that's like P. Like, pickles! We found the pickle bricks. I muttered to myself in a fairly distracted, disjointed way. Anyway, so these bricks got taken from this.
I'm going to go ask Miss Twaddle if she knows what the well used to say.
That sounds like a brilliant idea.
Great idea.
Whoever
Before
this
do we
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to note what was missing? Because if they're taking it intentionally, like, see what's here. So I'm
Maybe
thinking,
the rubbing of the well? I have some...
like, yeah, just grab some parchment that we've got in.
So before you do that, all of you, anyone who has looked at it, you cannot perceive what the letters currently are. Like, they are too time and weather worn. You know that there was writing there, but you won't be able to perceive, barring some kind of weird divine intervention, you would not be able to perceive the letters that are currently on the wall.
Okay.
Steve, given the pattern of the bricks, can we make a guesstimation as to what the missing bricks makeup would be? Whether or not it's like a specific type of brick?
Well, you know that there's 5. I probably should have mentioned that there are 5 missing bricks. And they are various different shapes. One of them is like a wedge. One of them is shaped quite literally like a brick. One of the holes is round. And then the other 2 are, brick shaped, but just bigger or smaller. So a wedge, a round one, and 3 rectangles are the ones that were deliberately taken.
Is the well giving off any magical aura?
Well,
No,
I
it is not. Unless you broke concentration, at which point he doesn't know. I'm assuming you're still concentrating on your detect magic, Mike.
yeah, I'm still good.
Yeah, so no, it does not. Preston does not perceive magic when he looks at the well. This looks like a mundane, busted old well with 5 weird-shaped rocks taken out of it. That has also been filled in.
I think the well was used as a place to hold the cipher to unlock the ward, but I don't think it itself is magical. Or at least the brilliant abjuration magic that is behind us is blinding me to any minuscule sources of magic. It's quite brilliant behind us if you look at it through a magical perspective.
What buildings are around this well?
Around the well, the only one that you know by they are dwellings, the schoolhouse, and like a farmhouse. So the the schoolhouse is the one that you know. The one to counterclockwise is just it's a farmhouse with a small farmyard with kind of green starting to poke up from the ground, and then immediately behind it, it looks like if you're standing at the well, it looks like you're standing in somebody's like backyard. Like looking in their kitchen window, like, hey, what's up? And so these are just kind of private homes, as far as you can tell.
I'm gonna go knock on the door of let's try Black Roof one.
The one that you're in their backyard.
Mm-hmm. Front door. I'm not gonna be super rude. Dear Lord, manners.
Sure,
Gotta have manners.
I get it.
I had a tutor just for that.
Yeah, exactly. When it paid off. So you knock on the door, and the door opens, and and 2 people open the door. One of them is a very old dwarven woman who is, just kind of like, with a cane, just kind of like really shaking as she, opens the door, and behind her is a much younger dwarf who is, kind of clearly her caretaker, like a younger man, also older, and he is caretaker, Marie. And so he is, he kind of holds her, kind of stands next to her and kind of holds her up, and he just kind of like looks out. Yes, what can I do to help you? I saw you in the backyard.
We were investigating your magnificent well, and we noticed that
that's not my well. That was the town's well. It has been out of commission for probably 20 years.
the craftsmanship is quite unique and historical, one might even say. I was wondering if you had noticed anyone admiring it recently.
No, not recently. No one really ever goes and looks at it. That's why I thought it was so interesting when you were looking at it this morning. Because it's, you can't get water out of it anymore. It's full of dirt. You could get dirt, I guess. But if you needed dirt, you could get that from the farmer across the way. He would give you all the dirt you need. Maybe even some manure.
You said it was filled in about 20 years ago. Do you know why they chose to fill in the well?
Because it was dried up.
Oh.
And we didn't want anybody's children falling into it.
That's fair.
That is very smart.
It's wise.
Very wise. That's why we did it. The mayor at the time was a very, very smart man.
Do you remember his name?
No. But I don't remember much anymore.
That can be blissful.
Insight check.
Oh, I mean, she's old as hell, man. She remembers what she remembers.
Okay, people can also absolutely change their appearance to look older.
I mean, okay. I mean, do you have a detect magic in that insight check? I mean, I'm giving you a roll 20 on this. Without even rolling, you can tell this lady old as all get out. And so she is genuine in her She remembers what she remembers. She does not remember the mayor's name.
And your charming companion, he has not seen anyone near the well other than ourselves recently? Perhaps
And
right
he...
before the general store?
No, I mean, you're talking about the missing rocks, right? Those have been missing since before I got here. And I've been here, I was asked to take care of her, for the last, couple of years. And those weren't there.
Oh. Well, thank you very much.
No problem. And then she just, kind of gently, shuts the door, and they turn around, and, he gives a wave. Good luck.
Thank you. To the farm.
So you're going to go to the farm next to the schoolhouse?
Yep.
So you knock on the front door, nobody answers, but you do see, a guy in the field kind of, after you knock, you see a guy in the field just kind of doing his work.
Master Farmer.
Well, nobody's ever said I was that good at farming, but what can I do for you? Not quite harvest time yet.
If you could tell me about that magnificent well, if you perhaps knew what happened to the missing stones?
Oh, they've been gone for years. I assumed that they just kind of fell off and someone took them as souvenirs or something. But that well was filled in, I don't know, 20 years ago? I was a kid. I think they filled it in.
Time.
Well, it's just a well, but they said that they filled it in so that my friends and I wouldn't have tried to climb in and fall in, and they were right.
Did any of your
would
friends try?
Well, no, but we would have, because kids are stupid.
That has been my general experience as well. Do you know that school teacher over there teaches all of you at once?
She did.
Amazing.
That's what school teachers do. That's what they do. I mean, it's no less good for the town. We all need to learn, but that's what school teachers do. They teach. I'm a farmer, so I farm. It's like,
amazing. Great job. Well done, sir. Tilling the land and
yeah. So speaking of tilling the land, I'm gonna go do that. But was there anything else I could help any of you with?
How many years ago about would you say those stones went missing?
Oh, I mean, I don't know, years. I don't really think about it. I mean, at least a couple of years.
Was it before they filled? Was it after they filled in the well?
Well, the well was filled in like 20 years ago when I was a child, and the well has fallen into disrepair because no one is using it.
I see he has if this is just part of the pictorial, that's fine, but there's stone walls.
Yeah, there's stone
In
walls.
his farm. Just take a glance and see if anything looks...
Make one of them old investigation checks.
Okay. Oh, dang. All right. Marp, marp.
Well, they sure are. Okay,
my friends, in case they also want to look.
They are sure rocks, and they are the same color as the rocks in the
guys.
in the
These
well.
rocks.
Can I scatter my birds to look at them all?
All of the rocks? Sure. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I've got a horde of birds.
Bunch of crows flying at this guy's crop, not gonna freak the farmer out at all.
A murder of crows on this farm now.
Okay, so
they
you
scatter.
do that.
They're not all.
Okay, so they
They're
scatter
not
around.
Like formation bombing. They're all going to different parts.
So he Okay, so the birds kind of settle down on the rocks, and as soon as the birds settle on the rocks, this guy notices them, and you see him put his fingers in his mouth and blow the sharpest, highest pitched whistle you have ever seen, and two mastiffs bust out of the backyard of that building and start chasing your birds around. And as they jump at the birds, some of them just flap away, and the ones that they get just kind of disappear into a puff of smoke and and feathers that then turn into smoke. It's weird. And he just kind of gives you a look, Dana, like, are those yours?
You watch as one just like awkwardly perches on her shoulder. They do what they want.
That's magic stuff, right?
Yes.
Those, so they don't like eat.
No.
Then we're fine. And he blows the whistle again, but it's like 2 sharp whistles, and the dogs just stop and get real confused. You hear like that dog confused noise, and then they full speed sprint back into the backyard and knock a bunch of stuff over and go into like their little dog hut.
Oh.
These are excited animals.
Seems like.
Okay, so what are you gonna do next?
If he's gonna leave the crows alone, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, so do an investigation check through your crows, I guess.
A crow investigation.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got
Sure.
it.
So, all right, here, because it's spread out over so many, it looks like these rocks are the same kind of rocks as used for the well. It's almost like all of the hewn stone used to make things in this town came from the same place, which stands to reason.
Okay, but we don't notice any particular missing ones.
With a 12? No.
I mean, I figured not, but it's just
No. But you did get a useful piece of information. It is the same kind of stone as the stone used to build the well. Anything else?
I'll ask the farmer where he curated the stones from, because it is an impressive wall.
Oh, this
And I
stone
like this mark.
this stone wall has been here since my pappy built it. Long time ago. It was here before I was born.
Do other people have stones just like this in
I don't
their
know.
walls?
Let me look at the map to see if there are stone walls, because I didn't even think of them until Marie pointed it out. Yes, there are. Yeah, there's a couple other stone walls in town. They're probably all made out of the same.
Okay.
That's why Connecticut has so many stone walls, because when they were farming, they tilled them up.
Hashtag
And,
fun facts.
Cutting through the mountains. Blowing up mountains to put a road in.
We added in the educational method. Okay, so the farmer just says, "Hey, thanks. I got to get back to work. I got a lot to do today," and just goes back to picking stones. And kind of clearly has very young crops, so he's kind of tending to them. What else are you gonna do, guys?
I'd just like to give you a time check.
Oh, I know. I'm asking what you're gonna do. Are you gonna go to another building?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? Let's go door to door. Let's see if anyone asks us.
Okay, so you do walk up. You're going counterclockwise, going around to various buildings, and as you walk up to the next door, you knock, and the door opens, and you'll find out what's on the other side in 2 weeks. So everybody, thank you, thank you everyone for coming and playing and watching episode 9 of Coils of Destiny. This has been a non-combat adventure, full of adventuring through this weird little town, and we did baking, and we did flattering a teacher. We just went all crazy with flattering the teachers. Wait until we find the village medic. We'll see what happens there. So, so we will be back in 2 weeks. And we will be back in 1 week for another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast, where we will be talking all about all the stuff we did at EFGCon, which is this weekend. So, and probably all the stuff that's coming up in our brand new magazine that we're making this weekend. So it's very exciting. So everybody, I hope you had a wonderful night. We will see you in a week for the podcast and in 2 weeks for Dungeons and Dragons. And until next time, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.